it's no shock that I was really excited for Vivy Fluorite Eyes song when we seen it in our preview for the Otaku Spirit anime cast. We have Nagatsuki working on it, who he is well known for writing and creating ReZero, and here recently Warlords of Sigdrifa. And we also had creator Eiji Umehara, who did the script work for ReZero as well, the adaptation. So, like I said, not a huge surprise that I was really excited for this. Also, we had Wit Studios working on it, which Wit Studio is known for doing really fantastic work in animation. So, having all these people working together, an original project, sure enough, I'm going to be excited. I mean, just having an original alone gets me excited. Then to have a lot of people that are well known working on it does kind of add to it as well. And the PVs look great as well. So, sure enough, when I jumped into the series, I was super excited, and I'm glad we had like 4 episodes to work with. So we're already 4 episodes into the series. So keep in mind that, I mean, we're going to get into some slight spoilers here talking about the first 4 episodes. But yeah, I'm loving it already. So essentially, for those that have not watched the series yet, it basically takes place in a future time, and mankind has created AIs, and the AIs are doing a lot of cool things. And we get a shot of this theme park, and the AIs are going nuts. They're all just massacring humans left and right, without even a question of it. They're just killing everybody. And we've quickly jumped to a doctor who is trying to activate a program inside of this facility. He's claiming that Vivy is the only one that can help them, and it gives these little quick shots of this girl that's sitting in a chair. And we then jump back all the way back 100 years into the past, and we follow a AI named Vivy. And Vivy is like the first autonomous AI that has ever been created. And it kind of has this little quick moment where it's talking about the creation of AI, and it's talking about how they initially were trying to get the AIs to do multiple things, and what they found is that they were not able to function multiple things at the same time. It shows this guy's working on a computer, and there's a baby crying behind him, and he turns around and he starts typing above the baby, like that's how to fix it. But they decided that they would focus on having AIs focus on one mission and one mission only. So every AI, when it's created, it's given a mission. And even though Vivy is an autonomous created AI, her mission is to sing and make people smile. And so she is basically a AI created to be a idol, essentially. And so she mimics idols, and she tries to perform like an idol. And she doesn't see much success at the theme park. But as you kind of see in the corner, there's like this whole countdown timer. Now this is like that. I'm gonna get into this later, but these little details of directorial work they're doing with the series is fantastic. Eventually, it reaches this singularity time, which is 100 years in the past, and she essentially suddenly starts seeing a bunch of these images of the future of this destruction. And she goes into this archive mode, which is kind of like a suspension mode. Something's happening, so this machine kind of shuts down. It goes in this archive mode, and this Matsumoto, which is this program that's sent to her in the past by this doctor Matsumoto, starts telling her that there's going to be this thing happening in 100 years, and you've been selected to essentially help stop this. And you'll find out later that one of the reasons that this program believes that she was chosen is because most all of the AIs, once the new version comes out, they get disposed of. She's the only one that's been around for 100 years because she was put into a museum. But essentially, this Matsumoto program makes it pretty clear to her that something's going to happen in 100 years, and she's tasked with the mission to stop it. She's like, no, my mission is to sing. He's like, no, your task is to help me. We're gonna stop this from happening. And what this kind of turns into is essentially this 100-year journey that Vivy is experiencing. And it seems so far we've had 2 missions, which is, essentially keep this one guy from being assassinated, because him being assassinated will put into effect this bill that is this AI naming bill, and it will also incorporate human rights to AIs. Then the second one was to stop this this is the funny thing. This space hotel called Sunrise from being collided into Earth, which will then spark the hatred for AIs that will eventually lead to the AIs turning on humans. But no, I thought it was funny because Sunrise, for those who don't know, is the company that made Gundam, and yeah, it had like the way the thing came down and hit Earth was like, yeah, it looks just like Gundam, and a certain space colony drop. But yeah, that was a little bit on the nose. But yeah, it's essentially, like I said, this 100-year journey of Vivy as she's dealing with kind of helping prevent this massacre from happening. And sprinkled throughout this is just incredible writing that I'm eating up. Like, it's the world, it is the characters. Vivy is pretty much like, this is my focus is to make people smile. And she's trying to slowly learning about, trying to learn about human emotions and all that kind of stuff. Your usual stuff that you'll get from an AI trying to explore the human emotion. And it's kind of sprinkling that throughout this in a very creative way. And her kind of hesitations to do certain things. Of course, she has knowledge now of what's happening in the future. And Matsumoto's like, no, we're only focusing on the things that will prevent this from happening. So obviously, whenever she sees something, somebody around her that's going to be in danger because of what they know about the future, he doesn't want her to do it because they can't change too much. So you are dealing with the fact that we are dealing with time here. But I think it's being very respectful of it. Even though, yeah, you can make arguments of, well, if that aspect changed, butterfly effect, none of this should have happened. Everything's going to change after this point, especially if you change things this significantly. But like I said, it's not dwelling on the time stuff too much to make it unbelievable. It's very focused time stuff. They're very focused on what they're going to change, and it is this one thing to prevent this one thing. And anything outside of that, they're kind of not talking about too much, even though they did address it right off the bat to kind of get it out of the way, I guess. Just her way of seeing there's an issue, Matsumoto giving her like, okay, just kill this person and you'll be good. And then her going, no, but I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to solve the problem. Getting into that kind of aspect is really cool. But like I said earlier, just incredibly directed, visually beautiful. I did find it odd. It's not an odd thing, but it is a interesting thing, I guess. Is every now and then, especially focus on the eyes, they have a lot of desire to kind of have these really close up, very detailed, very almost glossy look to it, to kind of give this sense of I don't want to say it gives a sense of like foreignness to the AI, because they essentially are AI, and I almost wonder if that glossy look to it is to kind of emphasize the fact that these are, yeah, both incredibly beautiful but also kind of fake at the same time beings. But just the visual close-ups of like the eyes and the beauty in the eyes and all that kind of stuff is just outstanding. They're doing a really incredible job of the animation with this series. A lot of cool action scenes already. A lot of really thematic points. The music is insane. I swear either somebody is very inspired by Sawano Hiroyuki, or you have like this aspect of maybe Sawano's doing music for it and they're just not crediting him, because there's a lot of points in it where I'm like, God, that sounds like Sawano. Man, that sounds like Sawano. It's gotta be Sawano. But it's not Sawano. So, but yeah, a lot of the action scenes, they get really high techno stuff in there, which I really do enjoy personally. Some might find it off-putting. But yeah, just a lot of the stories are really, really good so far. And the kind of the slow introduction to this world and the AI and what Vivy's thinking, what Matsumoto's thinking. Matsumoto doesn't really technically trust her. He thinks that she's defective. He's a program that believes in these absolutes, and she's not really following those absolutes. So he does kind of have this conflict with her. Her unwillingness to change who she is. Like, there's a point in which he's like, I'll just upload some combat data into you, and she doesn't like it because she's afraid it will affect her ability to do her first mission, which was to sing music and to make people smile. Well, if I do introduce this new program into it, will it cause that attribute to be pushed out of the way and affect what she does and what her initial mission is? And they all seem to have this very strong connection to their initial mission, which you kind of get into in the later parts with some other characters that are in the story with the second arc, basically. So really good stuff. Heartbreaking at times. They don't really shy away from certain things. Very violent at times, so keep that in mind. A lot of the action scenes are fantastic, like I mentioned earlier. The world building is absolutely stellar. They're setting up a lot of stuff. Even though it is like 100-year span of time, they are kind of introducing aspects that will kind of be reintroduced multiple times, I'm assuming. You do have some characters that are younger introduced in this story that I'm sure will probably be introduced multiple times into the timeline of the 100-year singularity that she's dealing with. It does acknowledge the fact there are singularities they're dealing with, branching futures. So I'm not sure if they will, by emphasizing so much on those multiple singularities, are they going to eventually have them tie in with each other? And that's where, yeah, again, technically they are doing very well right now, but you do have that fear of they are dealing with time. Eventually they're going to possibly flub it up. I hope not, but that is a continuous fear, of course, when you're dealing with time. Is, will it eventually try to tie into itself? Will it try to eat its own tail? You just hope that they play it safe. And so far, like I said, they are playing it very safe, and that's fantastic. So, yeah, absolutely incredible so far. Really, really enjoying it. This is definitely turning out to be probably my most exciting series to cover. Hopefully, I will be able to do a weekly coverage on it. It seems like it has all the makings of some good storytelling and some good things to go over, definitely in spoiler discussion. So, look forward to that if you are watching it and you are enjoying it. If you haven't checked it out already and you do check it out, let me know in the comments below if it's something that ends up piquing your interest as much as it did mine. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, if you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys enjoyed, and y'all take care.